So when you're preparing for the interview, so you've culled through the resumes and the applications and you've selected a handful of people. Like I said, it shouldn't be very many. And what we suggest is that you have a written list of questions and you ask the same questions of every person for that position, and we suggest you photocopy the page or print out multiple copies of it and fill the page in, usually after the interview, obviously. It'd be kind of obvious. It'll look like you're a psychologist taking notes otherwise, but you should record the process. And what we're looking for is a non-discriminatory screening process that selects candidates purely based on what you need from that position. So that's where you're trying to get to, and by treating people consistently, it gives you a terrific position of, first of all, it allows you to compare people on the same basis, which is very important. It makes your interviewing process more productive, but also it avoids discrimination issues. We talked about expectation. Applicants want to know when you will contact them. It's a critical element, and it's interesting because, again, I've been doing this for a long time. One of the complaints we hear is that they never called me back and they kept advertising for the job. Well, that person probably shouldn't have been interviewed, but if they were interviewed and they discovered in the interview they weren't appropriate, somebody should have called that person as soon as possible after the interview and say, we've examined our requirements and we reviewed your interview notes and we don't feel that you're the type of candidate we're looking for this position. One of the cliches that we suggest is focus on fit. I've been involved with the termination of many employees over my career. It's not because they're bad people. Occasionally you get someone who's just a bad person, you know, like you see in the movies or the old TV show Dallas, the part that Larry Hagman played, you know, JR. But in the real world, we don't get that many bad people. What we get are people who are not a good fit for the position for which we hired them. And that makes me more comfortable with what I do if I'm involved in a termination, because a person who's not a good fit for either the organization or for the position for which you've hired them is going to be better off long term, and we work a long time today in this modern age, in another organization or in another type of position that's a better fit for where they are. So when you talk to people, that's usually the type of answer that you can provide. You can say, we looked at our requirements very carefully and you were not as good a fit for this position as some other applicants. Or you can even say, we have not found the applicant that we want, but we know that you do not fit what our objectives are. So, and that's, again, the odd situation where you continue to advertise after you've turned applicants down. But if you've told them, at least they know what's going on. And that does happen. And sometimes when you see that happen, the ad will be pulled or the posting will be pulled, and the new posting will be much more specific. As people, you know, there's a learning curve there. People will learn, we didn't tell people enough about what we're looking for. And so you can get there.